Check, check, 1, 2, check, check. Can you hear? You good?
I'm good. You live right here.
You already know what it is, man. Yeah. It's your boy Major Payne. Showtime, what it is. Schoolboy.
Schoolboy.
Yeah. Man,
School the philosopher.
it's our first show, right?
First show, man.
Trying
Kicking things off the right way, as we should.
Yeah, this is a long time coming, and yeah, we should have been doing this.
Yep.
So, what's the name of the show again?
The name of the show. Brandon writes pending.
Right.
Cognac and Cigars. Patent pending and all that other good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You got 3 hosts here. 3 young men from 3 different backgrounds.
True that.
School right here. The philosopher.
You already know.
Got Major Payne over here. We're going to call him DA. The advocate.
Yeah. That's me, the devil's advocate.
And then we got Showtime, the realist right here.
You already know.
Showtime, the realist, the bluntest. No pun intended. Exactly. So, I guess for starters, I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Relocated down here to Texas in 2010. And as life goes, you know, there's always ups.
Yeah.
There's always downs. But you kind of find your way as you move and enter and exit different stages and different phases of your life. And through those escapades, we'll call them, I ran into a group of gentlemen. One I met, 2009? Something like that. Back in my University of Minnesota days. Shout out to the Gophers. So me and him been kicking it ever since. And then me and Payne probably linked, what would you say, Payne? 2012?
Yeah, 2012.
About
Yep.
2012.
That's about right.
So we were all at different phases of our life at that particular instance. All young men, relatively young, I guess. I guess you
I
could
would
call
say
it.
young. We say immature.
Yeah. More so immature than young. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it is what it is. And since then, we've taken leaps and bounds, not only in our personal life but our professional life, and
Word.
just as men, I would say, growing up, being better, and trying to do better as well. So we kind of came up with this podcast. It was a group effort as far as the namesake and what we kind of wanted to do.
Word.
Not necessarily talking to our young black, brown, and minority men as experts on any particular subject matter, but more or less being able to start a conversation about things that we've learned and things that not only plague us and the community and things that we've seen, but the lessons that we've learned and how we've grown from where we were to where we are. I mean, we kind of lost contact in a sense as a unit. I would say for probably about a year.
Yeah.
Maybe about a year and a half.
A little bit longer.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
Because I
longer.
went MIA.
Yeah, and in that time,
I disappeared.
In that time, a lot of growth happened, but that growth needed to take place in order for us to come back together. We actually had like an hour and a half, 2 hour, like heart to heart, like real conversation about things that you know, we maybe the wrongs that we've done to each other, you know, and the growth that we've seen within ourselves and within each other.
Real talk.
And so from that kind of conversation, now we have Cognac and Cigars.
Yeah.
So just stay tuned. I'm not sure how often we're going to post and things like that, but feel free to join in the conversation, leave comments, things like that. The channel should be up by the end of the night. Not to saying that the video will, but the channel and everything like that should be up. So we'll make sure we'll shout that out to y'all and give y'all the hashtag. Payne.
What up, everybody?
Go into you know.
Yeah.
Your deal.
My little background. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. So shout out to them Huskers out there. Oh, you want this right here? Shout out to them Huskers out there. So, yeah, I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I was in the military 12 and a half years. And,
Military. Whoop.
yeah, what up, Marines? You already know what it is, Semper Fi. So, my brother stayed down here first. Shout out to DJ Dr. Freeze. So, he moved here first. And I visit visited one time, and I was just like, you know what? If I get out, I'm going to Texas, and that's just what it was. And I've been here ever since, and I love it. So, um, like School was saying, we met in 2012, and we just were like kindred spirits. Shout out to DJ SS, shout out to K Man, shout out to King,
Yeah.
all our guys.
Shout out to the
Trent,
squad.
Trent out there, Flicks.
Yeah, get that. Get that.
But yeah, we were a group of guys we met, and it was just a dope experience. So we did a lot of great things, and we did a lot of immature things. But we came back together, and now we it's about our business. It's trying to get this stuff situated. It's a lot of different podcasts and a lot of different shows out there. We're just trying to make sure we talk to the gentlemen that were a lot like us and maybe in a different state of mind, and we're just trying to get them on the right path right now. We're not perfect. We're still learning ourselves, trying to get things together, but we're way better off than what we were before,
Right.
as friends and as business partners, and just going forward. Like, I'm glad we came back together because it was a point where we could have really lost our friendship just doing BS. But now it's like, we got a different mindset, and I
Growth,
think,
brother.
yeah,
We entered a
it's
stage
way
and a
better.
realm of growth, which allowed us to identify, the problem areas,
Right, right.
and where black men see a lot of disconnect and create a lot of dissonance between themselves. So
The phrase we like to use, excuse my language, mom, fuck boys. We were being some fuck boys back in the day, and now that we're a little bit more mature, we dropped that title. So we're better. We're grown men now, and we trying to watch ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We still have fun. We still kick it, but it's different. It's way different.
a lot different.
So.
A lot.
Yeah,
different.
we just trying to help these other fuck boys out there because it's a lot of them. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but we just trying to help y'all drop that title. Trying to help y'all see that y'all ain't got to do the stupid stuff. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
To elevate, to see the king within, recognize the king within, and then realize how to get to that platform. So
Absolutely.
We'll go ahead and give this mic to.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Got you. The truth teller.
The truth teller.
Double honest, How y'all doing? It's your boy Show, from Gary, Indiana. As you can see on my shirt, I'm always repping home.
Gary.
219, we in the building.
219.
Like my boys was saying, man. I mean, pretty much we had to get to a point in time to where we could transition. Originally, excuse my language again, like Payne said. Originally, I think we was gonna title the show "From Fuck Boys to Men," but
That would have been bad for branding.
Yeah, it
a
would
little
be.
bit.
I like this better.
A little bit. We tried to stick a little bit with the grown men.
The
part.
cognac.
I was gonna say, you ain't set it up over there.
Oh,
so we
yeah,
can
my-
just see
can you
everybody.
see everybody?
Yeah, they can get everybody. Yeah. So we just had to learn the transition so we could learn to really be more transparent with ourselves and others. As they stated before, we did a lot of things in the past. I mean, that probably shouldn't have been done. Everybody, I've had this conversation with a couple of people before. I feel like every male kind of has a moment in their time in life where you lost and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, acting before you thinking and everything. And like my man Payne said, we're just here to give our perspective and tell y'all somewhat a little bit of stories of maybe what we did and try to help everybody out transition throughout that period and get to the next level. From fuckboys to men. Don't quote that though.
Right. That's you all day. So yeah, this is our first episode. We're gonna be talking about different topics, but basically, it's a show from grown men to boys to help them actually see our point of view. Like we not no gangsters and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? We got all different walks of background, and we just trying to let y'all know it's more people to look up to than just your musicians and
Athletes.
and you know what I'm saying, dope boys. It's not taking anything away from them, but there's a different side. There's a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we here for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So the big thing here, at least that I kind of took away from our conversation that we initially had, is being able to be open, honest, and transparent. So having a bit of introspection, looking at self, and looking in the mirror. Sometimes you don't always like what you see. And we're not just talking about physically. We're talking about everything outside of physical. We're talking about from a spiritual standpoint,
True.
from a mental standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. All those things and all those qualities have to come together in order to form the whole man that you need to be. So mental health, I think, was last month. Mental health awareness month, I believe, was of last week. So and there's a big stigma, especially in the black community, surrounding mental health, especially for men. You know what I mean? And more specifically, if I can talk about self for a minute, since Cognac and Cigars, we're all about being transparent. And I guess disclaimer is with this podcast, we're still going through the process of growth, like growth and change. That's it's a constant in your life, something that's always going to happen. We're going to continue to learn from each other, and as the saying goes, steel sharpens steel. So it's like, okay, from where we once were to where we are now to where we kind of see ourselves projected going to and being in the future. And we've all had our conversations as a group. Me and Showtime probably have a few more one-on-one conversations, but me and Payne have had quite a few one-on-one conversations too about where we were. You have to learn to find strength in your vulnerabilities and strength in your weakness, and find strength in your emotion. I know coming up for myself, and I don't know if you guys can attest to it, when it comes to I should say emotions, that was never looked at as being a strength. We're always taught to bury your emotions, bury your feelings. Emotions are a sign of weakness, or a female trait. And so oftentimes when it came to any type of real connection, nah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, not happening. Why? Because we didn't know how. If you're taught for whatever 16, 18, 21 years before you wake up and come to realization that there's strength in your emotions, that this emotion right here called love, or whatever the case may be, fellas, is a weakness. Trust me, it's not.
It's not.
You got to really lean onto it, and once you kind of figure out that part of you, and how to love and how to be expressive, and more importantly, loving yourself, then you can go ahead and be strong for someone else. More importantly, your queen, whenever you find her. You could have found her already, and just because you were being a what they said, my boy, could have passed her up.
Absolutely.
I know myself personally. For my college years, probably through my whole 20s.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And Show and Payne was like, "Yo, that's a good one, bruh. You might want to calm down. That's a good one."
But shoot, y'all saying the same thing right back to me, though.
Nah,
Y'all saying the same right back to me.
She good. She ain't going nowhere. Ain't nothing but a thing. Whew.
But that was the thing, is like, I wish I was told how to control my emotions, don't have any emotions. Like, you should be able to love, but don't get out of character when you loving somebody. But if you get angry, you ain't got to fight everybody that you got a problem with. It's more or less how to handle it, but still you could be mad at the situation, but handle it in a different manner. None of that stuff was like really taught. Even when I was in the military, it's all about murder, kill, devil dog, and all kind of other stuff. Your whole mind frame is like, if you mess with me, I'm snapping. Like that's basically it. But if you do show that you love somebody, or even saying I love you to your boys, nobody was saying that. Oh, that's
Oh
gay.
yeah.
Oh,
Not
that's
at
gay.
all.
That's
And
gay.
I love you to your boys. Oh yeah.
Man, I
Oh, that's
love
gay.
y'all.
You gay.
It feels good. Like them I ride or die. Them my guys. I love them.
Facts.
And it's just
Facts.
the same thing. I love my brother, the sister.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Everybody has a different kind of love, but you got to know how to express it and show it all the same. But we was going through some stuff back, and this was only 6 years ago. We was going through some stuff, and we just thinking you grown. Thinking you grown is a downfall. Thinking you know everything
Oh,
or
yeah,
thinking
gotta
you had
figure
the
it out.
answer to everything, that's the worst thing you can do. It's like, I know it, I got it. I'm so glad that I don't know everything. So that way I can be like, I don't know that. Oh, my bad. Hey, I can back up from a situation. Like, hey, I don't know that. Hey, you got it. So, but knowing like, oh, it's cool, and we was out there.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. We was out there.
So,
So-
what's been your experience with that kind of growth?
Well, I don't want to hype myself up, but back in the day, I was the one mainly trying to get people to listen, but folks wasn't listening. I want y'all to know.
That's a
Want
fact.
y'all to
This
know.
guy.
No, I'm just want
No,
y'all
no,
to
no,
know.
that's fact.
When they ask, females always go through this whole thing of asking, like, do y'all ever tell y'all boys when we got one? Yes, we do have these talks. Well, we have these talks.
Mhm.
Like they were saying before, I mean, even back then we had these talks, and as we grew and transitioned, we started to have these talks even more, and just had them more on a deeper emotional level, kind of like how Payne was saying. For our talks went from just going like, yeah, bro, I think she's a good one, to, nah, man, you need to get it together. Like, if this is the one you trying to be with, you got stuff you got to change. Like Payne said, we had to talk with each other over and over to change our own mindsets.
Mhm.
Back in the days, man, I mean, whew, like I said, we was out there,
Yeah.
Yeah, we was out there a little bit of everywhere.
Man.
But as we transitioned and grew, I think even within ourselves being young men, we always kind of knew, luckily for us, that our group was kind of different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throughout
Very
the
diverse.
nonsense or whatever we was going through and dealing with, we still held each other accountable. Not as accountable as we should have.
Man.
Not as accountable as we do now, because we've grown and transitioned and learned these things. And like Payne was saying, I mean, now it's a whole lot easier once you figure out things within yourself. It's a lot easier to come to your boy and just be like, hey, man, I love you, and this is what you need to do to get it right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm not trying to come at you no type of way. I'm just trying to be your boy, because as your boy, I have to hold you accountable.
Mhm.
Just like I expect them to hold me accountable whenever I mess up on anything. Mainly, man, I think I'm just glad we finally put this into the works. This is something we've talked about for a minute, and now I believe this is something that we can actually use, like how me in school used to talk about it all the time. This is something we can actually use to try to better our own communities and further our own people, and just even hopefully just open up everybody's mind and way of thinking to
Mhm.
just getting to the point of being more, what's the word I'm looking, be more of a sponge, like Payne
Yeah.
said. Don't think you know everything. Even if you do know something, sometimes it's good to just shut up and learn something else.
Yeah, the easiest
Sometimes it's
the easiest
always-
thing to be is just be quiet. Just
Absolutely.
be quiet. Just be quiet and just be like, all right.
Absolutely, because just because you know a way to do things don't mean it's the only way.
Right.
Don't mean somebody else's way is wrong.
Right. And you
So-
got to watch out for people's intention too. It's a lot of people that like they will try to help,
You can talk
but
about
there's
intent.
it's an intention behind
We can talk about
their
intent.
helping.
Intent.
It's an intention about how maybe they want to see you go, or maybe they living through you. You never know.
Right. And I guess to kind of piggyback off what we were saying, being able to hold each other accountable, as a part of that growth, you have to be open to receive that. And I think for me, that was my biggest thing, kind of piggybacking off what you were saying, thinking that your way is the right way or your way is the only way.
The only way here.
And I was fortunate enough to grow up in a in a two-parent household, so I kind of knew what love looked like. You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough to see my mom and my pop's relationship. I was fortunate enough to see both sets of grandparents before they passed. Their relationship, being married 30, 40,
Right.
50 years, and to kind of know what that looks like. And it's tough. Like, you see It's like you see the finished product, but we don't know exactly how to get there. You know what I mean? It's like on the bottom of this hill,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how to get to the top.
Mm.
And I never really had that conversation, not with my pops and not with, my uncles or anybody like that about how to reach that certain level of manhood, or at least how I saw them, how to avoid certain pitfalls, how to deal with certain emotions, things mentally, or even having a healthy, relationship, what it looks like what sacrifice is all about.
But I'm a not to cut you off, but playing the devil's advocate again.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. How do we know that they even knew? Because they was probably winging it.
Oh,
Because
that's
who
true,
told
too.
them? Like,
That's true,
really,
too.
who told them? They just knew how to just, well, I ain't going nowhere. But what keeps you there? Like, what's in your mind that makes you say, well, I just got to stay with her? Y'all could be wrong for each other, but y'all just stayed.
Yeah.
Just because. Like,
and I feel like back in the day, when we talking about marriage as an institution, there wasn't much choice. Like, either y'all come together for survival, or both of y'all out of there.
there's too many options now.
Right. Hey, this guy go.
No, it just
I
is.
mean, but you're right. You're right.
It's
a lot
like,
more,
because-
in much different place. Not only men have more options, but women have more
Yeah.
options. as
You
far
could touch
as being
anything you want now.
independent.
Back then, you can't touch everything.
Well, now, see, now you get
No,
in
and
Trump chair, too.
and
Talk
I'm
about
I'm just
touching
saying.
anything you
No, this is a fact. Okay, say
Look,
night in the
look,
80s and
okay.
stuff like that. You didn't have no you didn't
Yeah.
have no internet, and all you had was a phone. So you go out and you meet a girl. You give her your phone number to your house. You gotta be at the house to talk to her. So that was it. You can move and shake. You could be. That's why I said Daddy was a Rolling Stone, and when he wasn't getting caught,
Oh, yeah.
he was in the streets.
Not at all.
Now,
Not at all.
I mean, you can move, shake. You go see
Have a
whoever you
family
want
on
to,
the other
but
side of town. Wouldn't know. No idea.
Right next door.
But you ain't gotta
Right.
be at home no more. Like, you know what I mean? If it makes sense, if that makes sense, that's just me. So they might not have the answer. There wasn't no book back in the day to say, hey,
Right.
how do you stay with your wife? And if it was, they ain't showed me.
Right.
They didn't let me know
Right.
about the book.
Right. So, 'cause I
So,
know.
like, you know what I'm saying? I wish I knew the book.
So-
Like, I love marriage. Y'all know I've been married before. I love marriage. I love the
Right.
idea of being a
Right.
husband. But you gotta have somebody that loves the idea of being a wife.
Absolutely.
And is willing to do the same thing that you're willing to do. I didn't know how to do it, right? I wanted to. That was like, I wanted to play basketball. I didn't know how to get to the NBA. Nobody
Right.
should,
Right.
nobody showed me how to do it. If you ain't got nobody holding you up, like, hey, son, you need to take her out. You need to do this. You need
Yeah.
to be calm. If she's getting upset, you can't get back upset with her because she got estrogen. You got testosterone. You don't fight her. You don't fight with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. But it took me a while to get to that point. Like, dang, I can't be arguing with her. I just need to, just chill. You gonna win your points, but that's not what you do. But now I know.
Yeah. The tit for tat thing. Show how.
Oh
did you-
man.
I mean, your upbringing was a little different. I would say, maybe from me and Payne. So it's like,
Slightly.
how did you get from, I guess, where you were to kind of where you now, where you are at now, without any direct, I would say, influence? Or did you have a direct influence? You feel like?
Nah, I'll have to say, growing up for me, of course, was a little challenging. I had, single parent, just my mom, and even with that, my mom worked 2 jobs 90% of the time, sometimes 3 jobs. Most of the time, shout out my mom again, but I used
Shout
to
out
always,
Miss Jackie. Yeah.
I used to always tell folks.
Jackie, true.
For me, it was kind of like raising myself, cause, being in a single parent home, she got to do what she got to do to make sure we was good.
Right.
Right.
I spent a lot of time at home alone. A lot of it was just trial and error. You know what I'm saying? And even for me, mostly the trial and error was kind of mostly just like error. Because I'm the type of person, even to this day,
Trial and all error.
trial is, I'm just
Yeah.
like, just because I've always kind of been the type of person where it's just like, how Payne said, it was like, I know what I want, I know where I want to get to, but I didn't know how to do it. I didn't even know like what direction to look in, because all I knew was I was alone. So most of the time for me, I always kept my guards up for any and everything.
Right.
It was hard for me to open up to anybody. It was hard for me to get close to anybody. Although I could make friends easily, but to open up to someone, I was always iffy about, just because I spent so much time alone that it was just
Right.
like growing up. All I knew was protect yourself, because ain't nobody else gonna do it. Luckily, like I said, during my trial and error, it was just I was blessed to always be told by my grandparents, just no matter what you do in life, make sure you learn, the lessons.
Yeah.
You're gonna always fall on your face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of, when you fall, are you gonna tuck and roll next time, or you gonna fall on your face again? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna learn from what you did in the past, or you gonna keep making the same dumb mistakes?
Right. Right.
Now, I mean, I've learned that you can't really be as, self-efficient as you want to be if you want things to work. You have to have that vulnerability with people, even though for me, it was a huge weakness. Because, like I said, growing up, only me is just like, to let somebody know this how I feel, this what I can do, and they can instantly use it against me. Sadly, where I'm from, that's kind of how things went.
Man, I understand now.
So,
we gotta do better at that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, from personal experiences, I mean, it's just one of them things to where all the thing I can say is, sadly, man, I mean, you grow up as a product of your environment, but as you get older, you just got to make sure you hit that level to learn where you grew up and how you grew up and what you were taught growing up doesn't have to shape who you are.
With
You
that
shape
said,
who you are.
that's a dope thing. But this is more or less talking to the grown men out there. Okay, being that you are a product of your environment, we don't take that away from you. But when do you recognize and change that? Like, at what age, or when do you say, I can't keep using that excuse? And I won't even say it's excuse, but if you want to get to somewhere, you're going to have to change.
Right.
Like, you're going to literally have to stop doing what you're doing and go a different way. Like, you can't keep going down the same path thinking that, somebody or something's going to happen to me along this bad path. Like, yo, get on a different side of the street.
Right.
Go somewhere else.
Right.
So, are we good? Okay, yeah. Go somewhere else. Go down a different road in order to get where you want to get. It's like, for instance, and this is just getting a little personal. I didn't think all of this was personal, but a little personal. I'm working on an R&B album. I could not sing, but I've been behind closed doors practicing my butt off, like practicing. I make beats, so the beats is easy, so I don't need nobody else for that. But literally trying to get my R&B, my voice right, that's what I want. So I invest in it. I do what I got to do, and I got to practice to get to that path. Like, I used to rap and all that other stuff. Rapping is cool. Everybody do it. I don't want to do that no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to do something different. R&B game messed up. I'm gonna do that. So that's just me. I'm on it. I'm on it. It's almost done. It'll be done in July.
Right.
If your album cover and you laying down in the rain,
It ain't real R&B.
It ain't
bruh.
real R&B?
It ain't real R&B, bro. You know that.
Stupid. I'm gonna have Cognac and Cigars on the front of that mug.
So I guess, kind of with that being said, it's just, don't let your past demons like block your right now blessings. Is kind of what we're saying. Like, there's no, I would say, specific age that people wake up and realize that it's time for them to do better. I think it's just, you get to a point where, you know what, there has to be more to life and to the existence in which I'm in,
Right.
than the status quo, than what it is. I mean, you see all these relationship goals on, Instagram and social media and all that. But I mean, for any real relationship, like, there's nothing to microwave.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like, in order to get to the top, you much rather take the stairs than the elevator, because you have to put in that work in order for things to work.
Yeah.
But
And you gotta, and relationship goals, that's a funny thing. It's like, you gotta have self goals first. Like,
Yeah.
like, Like you need to
No,
make
that's-
sure yourself is straight, and then whoever you
No,
with
that's
be
true.
happy with your happy self.
That's
if you
true.
unhappy
That's
and you
true.
trying to make a relationship work,
It's
it
just
ain't gonna
not
never work.
It's
It's
just
never
not
gonna work.
Like you're not going. You're
I
not
learned
gonna
that
be happy.
over time. Y'all.
Really not gonna be happy.
Not gonna
Really.
be happy.
That's facts.
That's
Really
why we
not
grew
gonna
up.
be happy.
You see that? We grew up.
Really not gonna be happy. At
Man.
all. At
And
all,
and
at all.
it's a beautiful thing to be in a relationship. You can share your time with that person. Y'all building a bond. Y'all taking pictures, going on trips. It's lovely. It's y'all too. That's awesome. But if you sad in the midst of, dang, I wish I had some more money, or I don't look the way that I want to look, and man, I wish I had this going on for me and my job ain't straight,
Right.
you're gonna make her miserable.
Right.
She's gonna be
right.
horrible with you. And then she's gonna be looking at your homeboy because he got it together.
Right.
Sad thing.
And my biggest thing, like I had to find what made me happy. Like once you figure out
Mm-hmm.
what type of man you are,
Mm.
then you know what type of woman you're supposed to be with.
That's smart.
So I would say my challenge to guys out here, fellas, realize the type of man that you are.
Mhm.
Like know the type of woman that you need outside of looks, because of course, I mean you would like to be, supposed to be attracted to the woman that you with. But that's the easy part.
Maybe.
Most times.
No, okay.
Most
Maybe.
times.
That's a probably. Probably.
Most times that's the easy part. Finding somebody that you are attracted to. Cool, because that's gonna get you the interview. Shorty, you look good. All right, great. Now let's get past that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She can look like a snack, but you can't survive off a snack for 20,
Not
20
not
years.
the snacks.
You need a meal, Shorty.
Yeah. But
need a-
do you know the funny thing? And this sounds so bad.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. What's
This
up?
sounds so
What's
bad.
up?
But the women that have insecurities
Yep.
are the ones that's gonna take care of you more than the ones that's secure, because they're going to buck you because they got it together, but they don't know how to balance the two.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
In a
You know what I'm
sense.
saying?
In a sense.
You know what I'm saying?
In a
It's a lot of women, independent women. I can't stand that. There are a lot of independent women out there
Uh-huh.
that don't know how to treat or keep a man after. That's another episode.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we not-
because you
we
don't.
not- we're gonna
You
focus
so
on the- we're
dope.
gonna
You
focus
so
on- we're
dope.
gonna
You got it
focus on the
all
men right now.
together. You are the bomb. You got a nice
Focus on the men
career.
right now.
I was gonna go in.
Don't
Don't
do
go-
it. We're gonna
But
save
we
that.
didn't even talk to the women. This is strictly for the fellas.
Right.
Strictly to the fellas right now. We just bring y'all into our world. It's a lot of things that we can discuss. I ain't gonna never bash a woman. Never bash a woman.
No.
But I'm gonna help you.
No. That's
But I'm gonna help you though.
Right. And that's the key thing. Also, I guess another key point when it comes to self, learn to listen to that inner voice. You know,
Mm.
don't be greedy, because I was a greedy
Greedy.
young man. You know what I mean? Just trying to keep things around that you know were good to you, but not necessarily good for you.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
because of how it,
That's
comfortability.
that's a great word.
Comfortability for one, or how it looked, or how you looked next to it.
Mm.
Whatever the case may be, and I'm still gonna go to that point, which I think should definitely be what we leave people with today, our young men.
Mhm.
Find out who you are
Find out who you are. That's good.
as a man, from an emotional standpoint. Know where you are. Check your temperature.
Mm.
From your mental standpoint, check your temperature. Physical is easy. We can go to the gym. We can get in all the cardio, look right on the outside, but you just
Man, messed
she
up.
I eat on the inside, boy.
Man.
She I eat.
Yeah.
Show, what you got to say about that, man?
Only thing I would say, as far as my man School said about listening to your inner voice, some of you gotta find your inner voice.
You gotta find one.
Find it.
Boy.
Find it.
Boy.
One of
Yeah.
the ways, if you can't find it, I'm gonna tell you how you can find it. Let somebody else tell you.
Word.
Let somebody else tell you. Don't sit here and think that you know, like we said before, you don't know it all. If you don't know, you feel like you don't know yourself, ask your friends, ask your people, ask your family, ask whoever you dating with, who am I to you?
Yeah.
Figure it out. See how they see you.
That's a good
That way
question.
you can find yourself for yourself and for them. I mean, 'cause-
That's the real ones, though. The
Yeah.
one who answer
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
hear.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
one you
that.
don't want to hear that
Yeah,
answer.
them yes people? No,
No,
we ain't
no.
got
Yeah,
time
we
for
don't
that.
need those.
Ask the one that's finna sit here and be like, all right, man, so.
You ugly
Whew.
today.
I ain't never ugly, but you know, I hear what you're saying.
What you saying?
I
You know
hear-
what I'm saying?
I hear
That
what
shirt
you-
ain't right for you,
I
man.
hear what you're saying.
It look better on me.
Find your real ones and listen to them. That's it.
Yeah, we about to close it, wrap it. Just the first episode is going down. Cognac and Cigars, a conversational piece. How we gonna say it?
Yeah, Cognac and Cigars, man. It's going to be a conversation of
Consciousness, word
um,
life.
not just consciousness in the cliche form of what we're talking about being oh so woke.
Yeah.
But waking up the inner God within. We want to tap into that God essence that's within my black, my brown, my other, minority men out here. So we can start having a conversation, start being real with yourself. Forget the fake. Fake is done. Fake was done in like 2016,
Yeah.
2017. I mean, we've been holding on to it, but let's start being real.
Yeah.
Let's start elevating each other. And always, always, always have positive affirmations,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Every
a good
day
one.
when you wake up, positive vibrations, positive energy, and fill yourself with light.
Yeah, and my thing is, don't do something today that you can't restart tomorrow.
Yep.
Like the consequences will follow you tomorrow. But if you're doing what you got to do, it's a new day tomorrow. You can do stuff new. You can start anew every day if you wanted to. But don't make bad decisions now where you got to face that tomorrow. So
Facts.
make it good for tomorrow.
Make
You
it
know what I'm
good
saying?
for tomorrow.
That's all.
Know what motivates you.
Yep,
Show,
yep.
any final words, Show?
Oh, man, I'm good. Show's out.
Stupid. You already know what it is. Major Pain, man.
School salute. Hey, we'll put up the link to
Cognac and
the
Cigars,
page
baby.
and everything like that. Once
Yep.
all that gets up and running, we'll also leave our social media handles as well as a few hashtags so y'all can keep up and follow us. By all means, critiques welcome, positive or negative.
Yep.
Still sharp and still. Make sure you tell friends, family, cousins, whatever people you go to school with, just to tune in. We're definitely gonna have some more listener involvement involved in the podcast in the not so distant future.
Yeah.
Until then, to my kings, also to my queens, peace, love, happiness, positive vibrations, energy, and light through your week.
Yep. Out this
We
thing.
out. Peace.